Hey, Motel Transylvania. So first of all, Toxi and Leo, it's really a pleasure having you today in the show. It's really a honor to have you. And also, I'm really thankful that you're taking your time for Radio Jack and for this show.
Thanks to you. We appreciate it. We are happy to be here.
Thank you very much. It's an honor for us.
Thank you. So yeah, Motel Transylvania. You are a industrial metal, dark metal act founded in 2014. So your first album in 2018 is called, of course, Motel Transylvania. And I think the interesting piece is that in 2023, you said like, okay, I'm reinventing, renewing Motel Transylvania. And you brought out Generation Lost, which was a really great burner. You toured since then. You played amazing shows all around, you know, the known festivals like Dark Malta, the Castle Rock, and of course Burning Pants. We're gonna talk about that later, so don't comment. Stay still.
No comment about that.
So how did all get started? And I think this is a question to Toxi, right? So how did it all get started back in the days then?
I was a young boy.
Okay, actually, don't make the answers too short.
No, it started like after a period I quit with music. It was I took 1 year without being in the music beats. I was actually a drummer. I was pretty bored at home, and I decided to record like, you know, a completely random and kind of stupid song. And it was this horror-billy, rock and roll stuff. And actually it worked. I don't know why, because there was neither a lyric. It was just like blah, 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 and so on. The drum was, you know, this pig for the money. And yeah, but I decided, you know, to find a lineup for this project. And it was actually completely different. You know, it was other members. Just Fish was the oldest member after me in the band, and we started as a horror punk, goth and roll band with double bass, and the thematic was all around zombies, horror stories, universal monsters. Our background is pretty deep into the, you know, this horror stuff and all these classic horror movies. So it was more like give an expression to that period, to what influenced us, literature and so on. So we recorded the first demo, completely homemade, even the second one. We had this little recording studio in our rehearsal room with Archetype. And there we started to collaborate with a label from Birmingham, Undead Artist. And this guy, Johnny, started to work with us from the day zero. Without listening to anything, say, let's work together. So we decided to create a team doing these little things, but that actually worked pretty good legally in that period. Then, after some shows in Italy, we started to play in Germany in October. We had the first show in Regensburg and the second show in Hannover. It was actually a pretty crazy show.
It was.
Yeah. And it was the period where Leo and Tiziano joined the band. Tiziano first, then Leo. In the beginning, I was stand-up drummer and singer. Then I started to be older, so I had no breath anymore to do that. No, I felt so much the necessity to have a direct contact with people. I have this attitude that I can't handle the stage. I need to go down, to touch my people, to interact with them. So Leo was pretty precious because he gave me the chance to create this contact and, you know, remove every barrier between us and our people.
We've known each other for a very long time, even since before Motel Transylvania, so it was very natural to join the band for me in 2019 and start working together. It's like being in a family for me.
That's great. So, but also meaning like that at the beginning you were like drumming and singing, and then Leo joined, and then it went like you were the front singer and enjoyed your life then.
And then I stopped to load in the drum on stage.
Exactly. All right. So, and how did then come the whole thing that you thought like, okay, I'm gonna reinvent Motel Transylvania, or it was primarily you both then in the end, right?
It was, or we had already this lineup, so everything happened in the period between before and after Corona. You know, the necessity to talk about something more personal, deeper, let me say, even less stupid, you know, something that you could feel for real. So we start to write lyrics and songs that doesn't match anymore with that imaginary, this grotesque, you know. I wouldn't talk about songs like Plastic World with the rock and roll movie behind. It makes probably, you know, this contrast that doesn't work, at least for us. So we arrived in studio in these little breaks we had between Red Zone and the other. And we started to bring, you know, what we wrote in that period, our influences, you know, that arrived before and during that period. And actually, the very first song we wrote was 12, that had another chorus in the beginning. Tiziano and me, we live in the same town, but we had a bridge in the middle. And that period, it wasn't allowed to cross the bridge. So in Italy, it was pretty crazy that period. And we met like lovers in the garage of my dad. I was basking with a basket for paint, and he played his guitar. And there was like always police looking like who is in the house, who's not. So we wrote the first stuff in this illegal way. We were just doing music, but yeah, basically the necessity to switch the genre was more about, you know, the register of the communication we want to use. So I guess that period turned off most of us. So we were not anymore in the party mood and in this just booze and club mood. We had more a necessity to communicate and to talk about something more serious.
Okay, but that's very interesting, because actually these days you then also used very wisely to step into new fields, sort of like, right?
Yeah. It was that's how was born Plastic World. It talks about exactly like that feeling, not exactly like that. You know, when I say the children of this world are looks between the shadows. You know, as always, this necessity to meet someone, something that was your certain before that, and then you have the contrast, because after COVID, after Corona and so on, you know, it seems like all your everything was sure before, like was falling apart, like, you know, a castle of sand. All this connection, the things you believe was that strong, were actually not anymore. You see people against each other for different point of views, for just break a routine, you know, the routine to meet every day. Then you had this, okay, we can't meet for 1 month, so we are not anymore than before. So that's why Plastic World communicating in this way. There's a big break in the middle. And
but that must also have been a really amazing journey then, like coming out of these times, and then you were playing all these amazing festivals all of a sudden.
Yeah.
How did that feel to you? I mean, what did that change also when you were like, oh my gosh, right? What did that change?
I have no idea. I think that the only good point in that period where it was like try to have new skills. So a new way to communicate. Social media were gold for us because we create a lot of contents. We try to create hype for what we're about to be released, and luckily there were a lot of promoters that were like curious. Let me say curious. The first one was René from Malta, and he gave us a slot there in a very great position with Project Pitchfork, a band we love. And so we went there as a vacation for 3 days. We met a lot of great bands that we collaborate also now. And after that, I started to write a giant list of festivals and so on. And I contact like everyone. And it's kind of crazy, like also you say, because we don't have a management, booking, label behind. We are completely independent. And when we saw that there was a lot of actually promoters in this kind of festivals interested in the project, for us was like, oh, okay, maybe we should do that, which we should try even more, because I think it's our dimension, you know, this mix with people, with artists, with people that work in this. And of course, one of these promoters was Zoran from Burning Pants. He called us like, I love Generation Lost, I want you here, okay? We're coming.
Amazing guy.
Okay, but before we come to Burning Pants, short question. Are you folks full-time musicians, or are you also having a normal job that you have to get along with?
We have all normal jobs. I work just with music for a couple of years, but I would say it's not my dimension. I wouldn't live just with music. You know, I think that this is kind of the bad face of the coin. That most of the time the connection and the relation you create in during this life are not always real. You know, most of the time you have friends just because you were on stage. You have people interested on you because you were on stage. I actually love people that completely don't like my music, don't give a fuck about what I do, what I don't do. You know, I could say that most of the people that I could call my family are probably disgusted by what I do on stage. So that's why I like to keep my feet on the floor most of the time.
Okay, but that's a pretty good thing. By the way, before we jump onto the next topic, hope you guys have a nice drink with you, because I think this session is taking a little bit. Cheers, mates.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers with tea.
By the way, nice Italian red wine for me.
Not rosé.
No rosé. No, it's a red wine. Hello. Just kidding. All right. So now let's talk about Burning Pants. Maybe we start from your first experience. How did it feel coming there, being on stage?
Oh, it was. I would start telling you how it was the night before. We arrived there completely destroyed by the trip. And when we arrived there, we found these giant smiles, you know, as welcome. So for us was already a place where we want to be. When people are there with their smile, for us it's like, okay, that's what we want. We don't care, you know, with people like super serious, not enjoying what they do. We met immediately the guys from Hell Boulevard, and I knew them before, Federico at least. And so we had a bit of party with them, and it was great. And after, I would say, 30 minutes, we felt completely welcome with these new people and new musicians and whatever, this atmosphere. So the day after, we had a bit of a day actually, and we went on stage, and there was a lot of people that never seen nothing before. And it was crazy to see people knowing the songs, singing the songs with us. So it was definitely an experience that, make us kind of stronger. After the show, we were to the merch area, and we always had this tradition to give some merch to people and so on, just being grateful. And it was funny because with Zoran, he was like, I have a t-shirt for you. You don't have my size. Good. So we have to meet next year for the new sizes. And that's how it started, this collaboration with the t-shirt.
Yeah, I actually wasn't there the first time because, as you mentioned, we all have normal jobs, and I'm a teacher in Italy, so I couldn't be there on that specific date. But the second time the band played Burning Pants, I'm a very open-minded person, and I also try to teach my students to be open-minded. And when I got there, it was just overwhelming. I got myself used to the situation in like 2 minutes, and it was just amazing. I would say that Burning Pants was one of the best experiences of my life as a whole. So people, amazing bands. Everything was incredible, and also I really enjoyed the show. I was really happy playing the show. If you see some videos, you see that I smile all the time because it was amazing.
Yeah, I had to make the video with his clips, and he was like laughing all the time, was smiling all the time. I was like, man, you are in a metal band. Can you don't smile for 1 second? It was like, but yeah, we had a lot of proof that he was enjoying the show.
But did you know before about what it is?
No, it was a surprise because there is no video around and so on. But like I say, we are completely open-minded. We live on the beach, so we see people in bikini or not bikini or whatever for 4 months per year. And actually, we are absolutely not impressed in a bad way about anything because, I mean, we talk about freedom, Generation Lost talk about it.
Yeah.
So for us, there's nothing weird in anything. Weird is hatred. Weird is, bad looks on other people. Judge. This is bad. Not people living their life in a happy way.
I mean, as long as there is respect, everything's good for me.
Yeah, maybe for the people who don't know Burning Pants, we should really briefly say what it is in the end. So it's a music festival. Yes, there are a lot of really well-known bands there. But it's also for the audience a fetish festival.
Yeah.
So maybe just to explain, some people might not be aware of Burning Pants and what's happening there. And I think now everyone has the context.
Yeah, it's a safe place. I would just say it's a safe place for being yourself, doing what you think makes you happy, and keeping the circle of respect without hurt anyone, without disrespect anyone.
Exactly, and I mean also like these kind of festivals or also events are also a big part of the Gothic scene. So where you have this open-mindedness, even if you go into a Gothic event, a club or something, it's always like this open-mindedness. I think that's what you're talking about, that people in the scene are just very open-minded. And maybe one short question, so before we then go to the new Burning Pants era, right? Have you ever been part of the Gothic scene? So how was this decision then in the end, or was it just sort of like by accident? I always love to ask this question because I came into the scene by accident, and also when I was already pretty old.
Actually, I think I could talk with all of us. In Italy, there's not something we could call scene in any scene. You could talk about metal, Gothic, hip hop, or whatever. There's no scene. There's just circle of people that know each other, and the scenes is made of friends that organize concerts for friends, and it doesn't matter if it's a big or small event. I was into industrial music when I was 17 till 24, 25, I went to a lot of shows here, but I wouldn't say that there's a real Gothic scene in Italy. There's some Gothic event, but not a real scene. Most of the people you see them also in metal show, for example. It's something more radicated in Germany. We saw more a scene in Germany. Even if, you know, in Germany there's more open mind situation. In the festival you can see a mix of bands with different kind of music, and you see that people enjoying. It doesn't matter, you know, most of the time. Here, when, for example, a Gothic band play before a metal band, it's a circus. There was Death Stars opening for Cradle of Field, and I never felt so, you know, ashamed to be in a crowd. Or I remember Bilbao or Marilyn Manson. In Italy, it was always this, he's weird, he has makeup, oh, this and this, she's naked, wow. You know, it's this small town mind. And no, that's why we are not in any scene here. We have our people, but it doesn't matter if they are in the scene, if they listen to the music or whatever. We just start to select our people and you know, have good people around, not someone just because they look like us or listen to our music.
But that's exactly how it should be, right? In the end. So get the crowd together, people, your peers and stuff, right? So that's exactly how it should be. Okay, so now let's switch the topic. And yeah, Toxi, you just had a drink. Cheers to you guys again.
With my not wine.
Does Leo now have a rosé in a small bottle, or what?
No, actually, it's orange juice. It's a three-way orange juice. Sorry to disappoint you guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
I have to drive, you know.
All right. Okay. That's
this
always.
This is not an excuse. We always drink tea when we met at home.
Okay.
Always.
Ginger tea.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
We are the worst metal band ever. No drugs, no alcohol, nothing.
Hey, that's total metal, isn't it?
I guess so.
All right, let's move on. So let's talk about your latest release. I mean, you talked already a little bit about Burning Pants. So now you brought out Burning Lust.
Yeah.
I say like the party song as you described it already, but it's also like a very special song for Burning Pants, for the scene, for what you experienced. Tell us.
Actually, it was, again, started like a funny conversation because when we are there, when they have party, I have the professional meeting with the promoters, with the staff and so on. So at 3 a.m. I'm with Zoran, Gabi, Urs, and all the guys talking about, you know, what to do, the collaboration and so on. And they say, like, we are writing something new and so on. And Zoran was like, oh, we should do something for Burning Pants. And it was like already like a plan to do a little tribute, you know. But then it started like a tribute, and in the end, it's a song. It's a song that actually, it's a tribute. We keep our mood in the song, so it's always this sensual, sexy, rough, and so on mood. But we didn't think too much, you know, about all the structure and so on. We imagined already this song with these hooks for the live dimension, you know. So we imagine the sing-along in the beginning, this huge chorus and so on. So for us, it's a way to be grateful to, of course, to the festival, but I would say to the people in front of us, the people that believed in us there, because it's not easy actually to be independent and have someone that trusts you without someone that push you from behind, like, hey, listen to them, they are in my label. they are for real people that enjoy music, enjoy people, and respect what people do. They don't care if you are in a big label or not. If Burning Pants people like what you do, then Burning Pants will help you to have even more people in front of you. I mean, we had more than 1,000 people last year in front of us, and you can imagine how it could be for, a band like us. So it's great because I mean we could stay there for 3 days in a row, and we are never bored to talk with people for hours. New people that are there, like talking with you like an old friend. Like we have some gadget that they gave us, like somewhere there.
Okay.
So we always collect everything they do for us. So yeah, it was our way to be thankful for everything. We are for us. It's very important to be always grateful with everyone that give us even a little piece of their time, because without them we would still here doing our music with a computer and nothing else.
Yeah, being completely independent, we are super grateful to every single person who has ever believed in us. So for us, it's very important. And Burning Pants, we just felt overwhelmed with love and support, and it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, about that, I would just say one thing. We talked about Undead Artist before, about the first releases, and after the switch of the genre, we decide, of course, to don't work anymore. Not anymore. We don't work officially with Undead Artist because we prefer to keep this independent dimension. But Johnny from Undead Artist, the founder of Undead Artist, it's still part of our team.
Yeah.
He still manage all our release and is behind the stuff. Because I mean, in Italy we used to say that a team that win, you don't change a team that win together. Mm-hmm. So we start together, we arrive together. It doesn't matter if things are getting bigger. Who was with us in the beginning will be with us even in the end. So.
Yeah, and Johnny is a very precious guy.
And that's like never change a winning team. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But now that you have toured around and saw so many locations, and I think the answer from you I know already, but maybe let's keep Burning Pants out now.
Yeah.
What is your most favorite location you have played at? You can say now Burning Pants, but if you say Burning Pants, you have to tell us a second one and why.
You want to start?
Yeah, for me, it's Dark Malta, because aside from Burning Pants, of course. Dark Malta, because when I was a teenager, I used to listen to Death Stars. And coming out of the pandemic, as you said before, playing for the first time in these big stages, big festivals, and to me, it was just overwhelming. The place was amazing. People were amazing there. Bands like Death Stars, Project Pitchfork were playing together with us in the same festival. So I have great memories of that show. It was a great one.
We were pretending that nothing happening. Like we met Death Stars in the elevator doing breakfast. Well, good morning. Will you play today too? Oh yeah, I'm there too. And there was the fanboy inside. I was like, no, we are not here. So it was more or less the.
Perfect.
I would say that Dark Malta is for sure an highlight,
Yeah,
but I want to include also Corrosion Festival in Morecambe, in UK. They are like also such an amazing people. They are like Mike, Donna, and Alex. They are the organizers, and they had, I would say, the same mood of Burning Pants. They arrived there. It was cold as fuck. It was rainy. They wait for us out of the venue. It was like almost midnight, and they were like, we're happy to have you here. And they organized this festival completely with their strength, and every band felt super comfortable. There was, every little detail in their place. I always ask, for example, for a vegan part in the buffet for our bassist, and there was a vegan part for him. I asked for tea. It was tea. Nothing crazy, but these little details that make you feel comfortable. and they were for real caring in every detail. So I would say that Dark Malta and Corrosion Festival are on the same level. One for, of course, the level of the festival, the other one for the art behind the festival.
Totally agree, yeah.
Amazing. How does a day on tour look like for Leo?
Okay, for me, it's I would say just being pretty. It's like it's like a different life for me. I mean, when I'm at home and I'm doing my job, I'm teaching, it's like not a completely different person, but a different side of me. When I'm on tour, it's living with another family, living in another life, in another context. And I mean, they're both part of me, but they're like day and night. Okay, they're both day and night are part of the day, but they're totally different things. And yeah, I love being on tour with the guys. We always have a lot of fun together, and we know each other since a lot. Like me and Fish, we were in middle school together, so you can imagine how strong the bond is. And
how old you are?
How old I am. And yeah, that's it. That's we all have our memes. I always buy Nippon on the road, and I eat a lot of them. And we have our, we have all of us as our thing, and also our driver is a friend, is an amazing guy. So I want to say hi to Sika. He will totally see this interview. So thank you very much for all that you do for us.
Perfect, thank you. Maybe one more question. What are you teaching?
Yeah. I teach English. I teach English, English grammar, English literature. So yeah, and some of my students listen to Motel Transylvania, so they know about the band, and yeah, they are also happy to support it.
Very good. Which grades?
Grades. I teach in high school, and it depends. It depends on the year. I mean, sometimes I have. First classes, sometimes also fifth grades. So this year I have a fifth grade class that I have to bring to the final exam. So we're doing this path together, and I get a lot of satisfaction from the job I do, and I'm happy about it. Yeah.
Very good.
It's like being on stage. It's pretty much the same thing sometimes. Yeah.
Then same question to Toxi. How does a day on tour look for you?
Stressful.
Sorry, but I had so many people, I'm asking this question, and the first thing is like stressful. Okay, explain.
I super enjoy the trip. I love the trip. I like because I can chill sometimes. Then from the first second I put my feet under the van, down the van, I have to manage the contact with the promoters, the contracts. So it's not always easy.
So you want to say while Leo has a nice dinner or breakfast, you are managing all around?
Let's say when Leo has a great after party, I had the great conversations.
Okay.
So, and on the way back, I have to edit the pictures or the videos and so on to create the content. So it's stressful.
Okay.
It was better, it was better in the first period of the band. It was just booze, sometimes booze, and that's it. Then we start to be serious, and I had to manage the contracts when he has party.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I have to, to carry the drum pieces around. So at least that's the.
It's not real. Our tax do this for him.
No.
No. Besides jokes, yeah, I manage the the formal part of the band, but each of us manage something. For example, Fish is the one that manage all the economic part of the band, so all the documents, all the accounts in the end. So because I could be a disaster with it. We would be failing the first show even before start. Then, of course, our tags are gold, because without them, we wouldn't be able neither to put a stand on stage without fall down. So I managed the boring part of it, let's say this.
Okay.
But I also had the chance, to meet great people doing this. So it's half, but it's stressful.
Okay, good. What was the best moment on tour that you can remember? And what was the worst one?
The best one, I would say, coming back from Burning Pants. Because I have this thing that when I come back from a tour, from a show, that's when all the memories start building themselves in my head. And those were amazing days. So I was like, whoa, I'm super grateful for this experience. It was super fun. It was amazing. I met a lot of incredible people. So I would say the return trip from Burning Pants, perhaps the best moment. And the worst one, I don't know. I actually have to think about it because, well, sometimes I was, of course, telling you how I feel most of the time, but of course also for me, it's very stressful before the show, especially because in the very beginning, the first times we were doing big festival, big stages, I was really scared for the show because I was, of course, in charge of. I had to make sure that everything was our in-ear system, everything was okay, and I was also I knew that there were a lot of expectations on us, on singularly and as a band. So of course I would say, well, actually I don't have a worst moment, but I would say perhaps the moments before going on stage in the early days. Then I don't have these fears anymore because I got used to them, to what we do. But yeah, I would say that. I would say if I have to find a worse moment, because for me it was all amazing.
Okay, so now let's switch over to Toxi, and he heard already the questions, right? Shall I repeat or can you answer? So best thing, worst thing ever happened on tour.
The highlight was probably to see the first time people knowing the songs, singing with me even louder, and knowing the song better than me probably. But yeah, it was probably the highlight. The worst, I would say, was our release party of the last album, our first album. It wasn't a great moment for me, so I didn't enjoy that show that much. There was tons of thoughts in my mind, and so it was probably the worst moment. I have no worse moment, after that. Of course, there's the anxiety before the shows. I have a lot. I have to keep everyone away from me before the shows. But yeah, the highlight was this, and the worst was just a timing moment.
Then I would have some speed questions. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we are ready.
Are you up for it? Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Chinese.
Pasta.
Favorite drink? And don't say ginger tea. No. Don't say ginger tea. What's your favorite drink?
Okay, Moscow Mule.
I prefer beer. Or, yeah.
Okay, which kind of beer?
IPA beer.
What's your 3 favorite Motel Transylvania songs, Toxi?
I would say one that will be released in the end of year, but we will play already in May. So it will be The Day I Let You Go. It's the first one. Firmament. And I don't know, Behind the Storm.
Thank you. Leo? For me, also, The Day I Let You Go is my favorite because, yeah, I think that it conveys strong messages that are, we feel it's very personal, both of us, for different reasons. Second, I would say Generation Lost. And third, I would say either Firmament or In My Mind. If I have to pick one, I would say In My Mind.
Thank you. So, Toxi, what are your 3 favorite songs apart from Motel Transylvania?
Of course, Toxicity. Toxicity from System of a Down. It's pretty difficult. Rain from Project Pitchfork. I have a fetish for I Idolize You by Massive Ego. I have a real fetish for that song.
Perfect. Thank you.
For me, it's Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath. Then I would say The Haunting by Camelot. And I think you don't know this one. It's an Italian song, Rotolando verso Sud by Negrita.
Okay.
I really like the lyrics of that song.
We used to do a game in the van where each of us choose a song. Okay, is the dangerous part of this game. Because or they start like this or they are 5-minute songs. So he's the dangerous one in the game.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Next question, Toxi. What's your greatest fear?
Being alone.
Leo?
Well, I would say the same, or maybe losing the people I love.
Thank you. How do you like to listen to music? Do you love listening to albums or are you listening singles and playlists?
Depends. When it's a new release, I love to listen to the whole album. Otherwise, just random songs in my playlist.
I actually listen to a lot of albums. I really like the fact that albums sometimes tell a story. So yeah, I can see a storytelling behind that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, then Motel Transylvania, Toxi, Leo. Thank you so much that you took your time. It was just an amazing time. You know, it was like, it felt almost a little bit like a party with you, right? So it's really fun. And, you know, so thanks again for taking your time. And yeah, we are so happy at Radio Jack to have you in our show. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you for all your support. We appreciate that you are always thinking about us. So hope to see you this summer and to have some ginger tea together.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much again.
Thanks.